Nagkakamabutihan na raw ang Pilipinas at ang China tungkol sa usapin ng West Philippine Sea. Oh, improvement. Hindi natin alam kung gaano katotoo yan, mga kakotsero, pero pag-usapan natin yan ngayon. Saan natin nakuha yung balita na yan? Nakuha natin yan dito sa ipinalabas kanina sa PTV4. Okay, so ito po yung balita kanina. Panoorin natin.
Nag-usap na ang pamahalaan ng China at Pilipinas kaugnay sa sitwasyon sa West Philippine Sea at ang dalawang panig na wag nang palalain pa ang tensyon. Yan ang ulat ni Mark Petanco.
Patuloy na inaaksyonan ng kinatawan ng Pilipinas sa China ang gusot sa relasyon ng dalawang bansa. Sa eksklusibong panayam ng PTV kay Philippine Ambassador to China Jaime Flor Cruz, kinumpirma ng opisyal na nakausap na niya ang Chinese government hinggil sa issue sa Philippine Sea.
Wow!
Ito ng komisyon sa kanya ni Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo na iparating sa China ang hinaing ng Pilipinas matapos ang pinakahuling insidente sa Ayungin Shoal.
We continue to engage with our Chinese neighbors levels here on the ground level as well as other levels up through the diplomatic channel especially. And we have made it clear to the Chinese about our unshakable position in terms of maritime issues, in terms of sovereign rights.
Dagdag ni Flor Cruz, yan sa China ang naunang pahayag ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. na hindi mawawala kahit ang katiting na bahagi ng teritoryo ng Pilipinas. Sa kabila nito, nagkasunduan niya ang dalawang bansa na huwag nang palalain pa ang nangyayaring tensyon.
I think that it's in nobody's interest to lead to confrontation or any untoward incidents. And I think both sides are determined to keep on talking and make sure that these untoward incidents will not happen again. Made that clear to the Chinese, and so we will have to agree to disagree.
Sa gitna ng issue sa West Philippine Sea, iginiit ni Philippine Ambassador to China Jaime Flor Cruz na dapat ayusin ang gusot sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at China sa mapayapa at diplomatikong paraan. Binawi naman ng ambassador ang pangamba ng ilan hinggil sa lagay ng mga Pilipino nagatrabaho at naninirahan sa China.
We continue to have constant engagement and connection with our residents, Filipino residents in Beijing and other jurisdictions in China. And I'm happy to note that so far we have not been informed or not aware of any unpleasant or untoward incidents involving Philippine citizens in China.
Habang patuloy ang pag-asaayos ng gusot sa pagitan ng dalawang bansa, tiniyak ng opisyal na hindi titigil ang embahada ng Pilipinas sa pagsusulong at pagbibigay ng prioridad sa pang-usapin ng agrikultura, infrastructure, clean energy at people-to-people ties para sa kapakanan ng mga Pilipino. Mark Fetalco para sa Bayan, Beijing.
Okay. So, ang sabi ng ating ambassador to China, si Philippine Ambassador to China, Flor Cruz. Ayan, siya yung, ang sabi niya, nakausap na raw ang Chinese government tungkol sa issue ng West Philippine Sea. Yan ang sabi niya. Wala naman problema kung nakausap. Di ba? Wala naman problema kung nakausap. Kapag tayo, nagpa-file tayo ng diplomatic protest natin sa China tungkol sa mga pang-aabuso na ginagawa nila dyan sa West Philippine Sea, that's a form of communication. Yan ay isang paraan ng paikipag-usap. But it doesn't necessarily mean, mga kakutsero, hindi ibig sabihin na porke nakausap at nasabi natin na, hoy, hindi kami happy sa nangyayari dyan sa West Philippine Sea, nagkakamabutihan na ang dalawang bansa. Hindi ho ganun na ibig sabihin nun. Actually, mga kakutsero, itong pag-uusap na to, kausapin natin sila, etc., etc., it will not go anywhere. Wala akong pupuntahan yan. Bakit? Subok na ng panahon. Subok na ng panahon, mga kakutsero. Subok na ng panahon. Kung willing makipag-usap ang China, edi dapat noon pa. Kung willing makipag-kompromiso ang China, Chinese Communist Party, dapat noon pa. Kaso wala. Nga. Nag-aabang tayo sa wala. Ayun. Pero mga kotsero, para sa akin, ako lang naman, no, I think, mas magiging seryoso ang China sa paikipag-usap at paikipag-dialogo kung sila ay popwersahin ng buong ASEAN. At yan ang ayaw nila mangyari. Ayaw nila mangyari yan. Gusto nga, mag-away-away ang lahat ng claimants sa West Philippine Sea, di ba? Actually, di lang West Philippine Sea. Sa buong yung 9-dash line. Di ba? Gustong-gustong pag-awayan si Vietnam tsaka ang Pilipinas. Gustong pag-awayan si Pilipinas at si Brunei. Gustong pag-awayan si Pilipinas at si Malaysia. So, dito pa lang nakikita na natin na oo, nakakausap, 'di ba? Nakakausap ng Pilipinas, etc., etc. But it doesn't necessarily mean na it is sincere. Iba po ang pagiging sincero. Case in point, mga kotsero. Case in point. Kaya ko po nasabi na this is a pointless exercise, no? Yung pakikipag-usap natin sa kanila ng ganito, yung G2G, government to government. Kasi mga kotsero, eto nga naalala nyo to, yung Code of Conduct sa South China Sea. 2012 pa to. 2012 pa to, guys. 2012 pa to. Tingnan nyo, buhay pa nga si Albert Del Rosario niyan eh. Diba? Ayan buhay pa nga si Albert Del Rosario dito eh. Ayan diba? Albert F. Del Rosario. So, ito yung kanyang speech sa Cambodia nung nag-meeting ang ASEAN Foreign Ministers noong 2012. Ito yung sinabi niya. Matagal na ho nating sinasabi na dapat po magkaroon ng Code of Conduct. Diyan, Code of Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea. 2012 pa ho yan. Okay. Siyempre, kasama dyan si China. Diba? On our end, tayong Pilipinas ay naniniwala, number one, na lahat ng partido na nandyan na nagkiklaim dyan sa West Philippine Sea ay dapat merong Code of Conduct. Ayan, Tapos, meron tayo dapat mekanismo para pag-usapan ng iba't ibang mga dispute. Kailangan mailinaw din ang pagkakahiwa-hiwalay ng iba't ibang mga claims natin. O, di ba? Including the UNCLOS. Including the UNCLOS. Actually, dapat nga ang basis UNCLOS eh. Ano ba tong si Ano ba to si Albert Del Rosario? My goodness. Kasi yun ay international law eh. Actually, meron pa namang iba, di ba? Meron pa namang mga ibang international law na sinusunod. Pero ito kasi yung basis natin sa Pilipinas, no, UNCLOS. Ayan. And provisions relating to cooperative activities as may be appropriate for the disputed areas. Yung Code of Conduct na yan, matagal na ho natin yan isinusulong. Ito yung pinaka-epektibo sa totoong buhay. Ano na nangyari dito sa Code of Conduct? Fast forward tayo ng konti. ASEAN, China urged to complete West Philippine Sea Code of Conduct Framework. 2017 na, guys. La pa rin ganap. Fast forward 5 years later. The ASEAN member states and China are urged to complete the Code of Conduct Framework for behavior in the disputed West Philippine Sea at the soonest possible time to help deal with uncertainties in the region. Ano nangyari? Wala. 5 years later. 5 years. Tama, 2017 to eh. Ayan, 2017. So, 5 years later, simula nung 2012, okay, 5 years later, wala pa rin. Diba? Such proposal was made by international and local economists Monday after the presentation of the United Nations report, the Economic and Social Survey of Asia and the Pacific 2017, highlighting Asia-Pacific economy's vulnerability to global uncertainty and trade protectionism. The sooner we really bring down the players around the table, to discuss how we do this, meaning agree on this code of conduct. The sooner we do it, the better. There is no use issuing the statements that may just confuse the issue, said Philippine Institute for Development Studies or PIDS President Dr. Gilberto Llanto. Llanto believes that the code of conduct is the way to go. Oh. Awa ng Diyos, hindi pa rin siya nagagawa. 2017. Wala pa rin. Okay. Fast forward. Fast forward, guys. Ayan, 2019, 2 years later. Sabi ni Digong, Duterte to raise delay in South China Sea Code of Conduct with Xi Jinping. Oh, ito na, rektahan na to sa China, mga kodyero. Kakausapin daw ni Digong ang Chinese president during this time. Actually, hanggang ngayon naman, si Xi Jinping. Kakausapin daw niya. Anong sinabi ni Digong? Tapos natin yung balita. President Rodrigo Duterte thinks China might be behind the delay. Oh, nagdududa na si Digong. Sabi, bakit China kasi may kasalanan dyan? Bakit hindi na pag-uusapan yung Code of Conduct na yan? In finalizing the Code of Conduct in the South China Sea, saying one reason for his upcoming China trip, is to hasten the completion of the binding document. That's why I'm going there, sabi ni Digong. They are delaying it and it's causing so many incidents. And one day, it will, one mistake, a miscalculation there, and mahirap na bawian yun. Oh, 2019 to. So, 2012, nagumpisa? Or more or less, nagumpisa ng 2012? I think it's much earlier pa. I think it's much earlier, 2010, 2011. Either way, matagal na siya nagumpisa. Pero una natin naging reference is 2012. 5 years later, 2017, wala pa rin Code of Conduct. 2 years later, 2019, wala pa rin Code of Conduct. At ang kutob ni Digong, they are delaying it. Sino yung they? China. Kaya nga nagtataka ako, bakit todo suporta pa rin si Digong sa China eh. So weird. But anyway, eto sabi. Asked who he meant by they, Duterte said, it could be China. Nobody else is making us wait. Nobody else pala is asking us to wait. So si China pala, sinasabi, wag muna. Yan ba ang pakikipag-usap? Bad faith actor talaga to si China eh. Si Chinese Communist Party. Komunistang China kasi. Bad faith actor talaga. Wala pa rin nangyayari. Tapos, 2019 na to, di ba? Huwag natin tuloy yung article kasi ang tutok natin ay yung Code of Conduct na yan. Fast forward, 2019 ulit. 2019, August 9, August 31. A few days later, nasa China na siya. Code of Conduct issue raised by President Duterte with Chinese Premier Li. So, hindi si Xi Jinping ang nakausap tungkol sa Code of Conduct. The adoption of the Code of Conduct in the South China Sea must be the least concern of Western powers, especially the United States, President Rodrigo Duterte said on Friday. Ang sabi, President Duterte had a bilateral meeting with Chinese Premier Li Keqiang at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing. In his opening remark, President Duterte said he embarked on a trip to China to discuss the issue of the Code of Conduct as a response to requests from Southeast Asian countries. So, si ASEAN ang nangungulit. Kasama ang Pilipinas. Pinapunta si Digong sa China to represent the whole ASEAN. Okay. Ito sinabi ni Digong sa China. I would like to tell you now, in front of the media and all, that the passage of the Code of Conduct by China and everyone else is the least concern of America. Ibig sabihin, walang pake si Amerika dito. Tayo lang nag-uusap dito. Yun ang sinabi dyan ni Digong. Tapos, to achieve the consensus on the COC, China hopes, China na to that during the Philippines' tenure as country coordinator of China-ASEAN relations, COC consultations can be concluded to maintain peace and stability in the South China Sea, Premier Lee said. Okay, malabo yung sagot nila, no? Tinanong ang China, ang sabi, kailan ba natin itutuloy itong code of conduct natin para nagkakaayos tayo dito sa South China Sea, West Philippine Sea? Anong sagot? Ay, kailangan tapusin natin sa lalong madaling panahon. It's not a yes, it's not a no. Kailangan tapusin sa lalong madaling panahon, sabi. Ay, nakatapos binola na si Digong. The Chinese premier praised the president for forging warm relations with China, stressing that in the past 3 years, the Philippines-China bilateral relations has started to turn around and continue to enjoy steady progress and sound development. Okay. Tapos ang sagot sa kanya, sabi kay Digong, ang tanong ni Digong, kailan natin tatapusin ang code of conduct? Ang sagot sa kanya, palalakasin pa natin ang pag-uusap sa gitna ng Pilipinas at ng China. Pinaglalaroan lang tayo nito eh. Pinaglalaroan lang talaga tayo ng China, guys. Okay. So, tuloy natin. Mahaba tong kwento to, guys. August 31, 2019. Daanan natin lahat. Halos karamihan ng taon. Okay. Eto na. Talon tayo, 2020. Sabi ni Digong, we must act with haste. Dapat magmadali na tayo. Sabi sa ASEAN, Duterte presses ASEAN on Code of Conduct in South China Sea. Kakagaling lang niya ng China, August 31, 2019, 2020, November 12, so 1 year later. Sabi sa ASEAN, kailangan kausapin na natin si China tungkol sa COC natin. Sabi ni President Digong, made a fresh call to pass a code of conduct to govern behavior in the disputed South China Sea at the summit of Southeast Asian leaders on Thursday. Sabi niya, as I have said before, the South China Sea issue is ASEAN's strategic challenge. How we deal with this matter lays bare our strengths and weaknesses as a community. We must act with haste. Dapat magmadali tayo dito, sabi ni Digong. Sabi pa niya, the Philippines is one with ASEAN in transforming the South China Sea into a sea of peace and prosperity for all. We are committed to the immediate conclusion of a substantive and effective code of conduct in the South China Sea. And if I may add, it has been a long time and it is a long wait. 2012 ba naman hanggang 2020? May 8 years na. May 8 years na kasi. Matagal na talaga. Okay. Tuloy natin. 2020 na ito, no? 2020. Talon tayo, 2 years later, 2022. Sabi, still no progress on South China Sea Code of Conduct. After ASEAN Summit, sinabi ni PBBM. Presidente na si PBBM yan on November 14, 2022. Wala pa ring improvement. Wala pa ring improvement. Anong sabi? President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. said on Monday there is still no progress on Southeast Asian leaders' attempts to finalize a code of conduct in the South China Sea, which will determine the only allowable actions countries can take in disputed waters. Marcos arrived in the Philippines early Monday morning after meeting with several world leaders, etc., etc. Ito sabi, nothing new actually has happened in terms of the code of conduct. We all just restated over and over again, kailangan na magkaroon ng code of conduct. It is urgent. It is becoming more and more urgent. And we really should. The negotiations and the finalization of the code of conduct. There's been some progress in the past year, but we really need to have the actual code of conduct already finalized and already in place as soon as possible. Okay, 2022 ito mga kotsero. Hanggang ngayon wala pa. Hanggang ngayon wala pa. Marcos also said the ASEAN member countries in China agree that everyone must follow the UNCLOS and international law in absence of the code of conduct. Okay. Pero wala pa rin. Hanggang ngayon, mga kutsero, non-existent pa rin yung code of conduct na yan. Actually, 2023 na. PH raises concerns in ASEAN talks on code of conduct in South China Sea. Simula 2012 hanggang 2023, more or less 11 years. More or less 11 years na lumipas. Wala pa rin nagaganap. Pinag-uusapan pa rin siya. The Philippines has raised its concerns on the recent developments in the South China Sea as top Filipino diplomats met with their counterparts from China and other ASEAN members for talks on a code of conduct in the disputed waters. Ito sabi, asserting its rightful sovereignty over the West Philippine Sea, a part of the bigger South China Sea that China also claims as its own, the Philippines said it remains committed to the early conclusion of an effective and substantive code of conduct. The Philippines maintain there's still a need to have a conducive environment for the talks to progress. Yan ang sinabi ng Pilipinas. Ngayon, mga kotsero, ito yung update. August 31, 2023. Kailan ba to? August 25. A few days later, ito sinabi. Completion of Code of Conduct in South China Sea will take a little bit longer. Si bad faith actor ka kasi talaga ang komunistang China. The formulation of the Code of Conduct in the disputed South China Sea may take a little bit longer due to differences of claimant countries, the Department of Foreign Affairs said on Thursday. Asked if there will be any significant progress on the Code of Conduct in the next week's Association of Southeast Asian Nations Summit in Indonesia, Foreign Affairs Assistant Secretary Daniel Espiritu said, since discussions were still underway, we will have to wait. Ay, marami ng roadblocks, ang sabi. Di pala roadblocks. Roadblocks, hindi Roblox. Ayan. Marami daw kasing pumipigil. Of course, sasabihin ng DFA, kasi marami kasing bansang involved, etc., etc. So, of course, it's just, they're just being, diplomatic about it. Pero sa totoong buhay, mga kotsero, ang totoong salarin talaga dyan ay ang People's Republic of China. Ano? PRC continues to delay Code of Conduct in South China Sea despite promises. Mga aktivista na yan. Aktivista na yan. Okay. Ito ang sabi. The People's Republic of China continues to block the adoption of a Code of Conduct in the South China Sea despite decades of promises to accelerate the process. Moreover, analysts contend that the PRC's ongoing stall tactics, ba't nakaharang yan dyan? Ayan, are part of an overarching strategy to seize control of the disputed waterway before a code to reduce the risk of conflict in the South China Sea. To reduce the risk of conflict in the South China Sea can be implemented. Meron dong bagong pangako ang sinabi ng China na si Wang Yi, PRC State Councilor and Foreign Affairs Minister, promised to hasten negotiations to develop a code during the 2-day stop in Malaysia nitong July 2022. 2022 pa to. Against this backdrop of glacial progress, it is foolish to view Wang's comments as anything other than an attempt to play for time while China's growing naval power creates facts on the ground in disputed parts of the South China Sea. Yan. Sabi ng isang Southeast Asia editor ng The Diplomat. Yun. See? 1990s pa pala to. Ang una ko napakita sa inyo, 2012. Pero 1990s pa pala yung Code of Conduct na yan. Hanggang ngayon, walang nangyayari. Ayan. So, although Chinese Communist Party, CCP General Secretary Xi Jinping promised not to militarize the artificial islands in October 2015, the CCP has fortified the outpost with airfield, ports, radars, and other military facilities and continues such construction in 2022, according to satellite imagery and analysis by Center for Strategic and International Studies or CSIS Asia Maritime Transparency Initiative. So, mga kotsero, ito nga, ito. Ito, basahin natin itong parte na to. Ito yung parte ng topic natin. The People's Republic of China began delaying talks of a formal code in 2013. So, 2012, di ba, naglabas tayo ng statement. About the time it began building fake islands. In response, the Philippines filed an arbitration case, etc., and the rest is history, mga kotsero. So, alam naman natin, mga kotsero, ngayon, bistado na. Ang cause of delay ay ang China. Yung simpleng code of conduct nga, hindi mapanindigan eh. Yun pang yung pakikipag-usap sa kanila na wag tayo masyadong maging mapusok diyan sa West Philippine Sea. Di ba? They're not really, itong komunistang China, mga kotsero, they don't really intend to follow through on their promises. Huwag na natin bulahin ang mga sarili natin na kapag ganyan ang usapan, susundin nila yung mga sinasabi nila. Alam naman natin, mga kotsero, na itong Chinese Communist Party o komunistang China ay nunukan talaga ng sinungaling. Kaya mga kotsero, please, huwag na po tayo magpabola sa kanila. Ang makakapigil lamang sa pag-aangkin ng ating teritoryo dyan, ating sovereign rights sa West Philippine Sea, outside of America, ay Pilipinas at ASEAN. That's it. Wala nang iba. Outside of US and all of the Western powers. Kasi tayo lang naman na magkakapit bahay dito. Nakikisaw-saw lang naman si China dito sa lugar natin. Diba? Sino-sino mang parte ng ASEAN. So, I don't know. Ewan ko lang. Pero, maniniwala pa ba tayo doon? Kung tatanungin nyo, wag na. It's just a waste of time. Huwag na tayo maniwala sa sinasabi ng China. Binobola lang tayo niyan. Huwag na tayo magpabola sa kanila. Ilang taon na nila tayong binobola. Diba? Huwag na tayong umasa na magiging totoo sila sa mga sinasabi nila. Simple-simple nga lang investment sa Pilipinas. Nung panahon ni Digong, hindi nila nagawa. Yan pang pagsunod sa kanilang pagtatapos ng Code of Conduct. Wala tayong aasahan dyan. So mga kotsero, hanggang dito lang po muna ang video na ito. Huwag niyo pong kalimutan mag-like, share, and subscribe sa Coach Jarret YouTube channel. Huwag niyo rin po kalimutan i-follow tayo sa ating Facebook page. At I'll see all of you in our next live stream, mga kotsero. Okay, magkakaroon po tayo ng live stream soon. God bless you and I'll see you next time. Bye!